Okay, guys, so for today's class, we are going to talk about the verbal communication. But before this lecture, I'm going to give you guys a pop quiz. Are you ready? Go. What does LOL mean? Pick your answer, please. If you pick option D, that is the correct answer. Laugh out loud. We use LOL a lot on the internet to show that we're amused, right? Laugh out loud. Second, how about ROFL? The correct answer is C, rolling on floor laughing. Still a kind of expression to show lots of laughs and we're amused. Number 3, how about this one? This one is a little bit hard. The answer is number B, too long didn't read. And here is an essay question. Can you translate this short paragraph? My summer holidays were completely waste of time. Okay, and I'm gonna show you guys the correct answer. Before, we used to go to New York City to see my brother, his girlfriend, and their screaming kids face to face. I love New York. It's a great place. Okay, and this one is to entertain you guys, just for laughs. So we can see that due to the rapid development of the internet, our language has evolved a lot. Right now, we use lots of short expressions to, to show our ideas, to show our thoughts, to communicate with other people. And if we use the correct short expressions, abbreviations, others can still understand us. So today, let's talk about this verbal communication, language. Now, when we talk about language, usually we would refer to 3 areas of study or 3 aspects of systematic rules or principles we use to organize, to structure our language. These 3 areas of code are semantic code, syntactic code, and pragmatic code. Okay, so let's first take a look at this semantic code. By definition, semantic code refers to all the rules related with the meaning of words. So this semantic code would guide us, given an object in reality, which symbol we should use to represent this object. We began to develop this semantic code ever from our childhood. And now we are still learning it as we are learning new vocabularies all the time. So in other words, this set of semantic code refers to our vocabulary. Let me share one of my childhood memories with you guys to illustrate how we develop our semantic code. So when I was a little girl, I really liked animals, and my parents said that when I was 5, 6, we went to the city zone for like 20 times a year. That's pretty a lot. So I went to the zoo not just for fun, I actually learned a lot. For example, my mom and my dad, they taught me which is tiger, which is lion, which is panther, etc. I still remember one afternoon when I was walking in the zoo, and suddenly I was astonished by a really beautiful bird. At that time, I had never seen such a beautiful bird. This bird can spread in his shiny blue feathers, pretty much like a beautiful fawn. I guess probably you have a bird in your mind. What's that? I guess you have the word peacock in your mind. And I also remember my mom told me this is peacock, of course, in Chinese. So at the time, I was able to associate what I saw in the zoo, this beautiful bird, with the symbol, with the word my mom told me, peacock, in Chinese. So this is a process where I was learning how to, given an object in the reality, which symbol I should use to refer to this object in the reality. So this is a process how we develop or how we learn this semantic code. So next time when I hear or see the word peacock, I would form a mental image of this beautiful bird in my mind. So in other words, semantic code is a set of rules connecting the objects with certain words or symbols. And later, when I haven't learned that when people talk about peacock, they are not necessarily referring to this beautiful bird. So this word peacock, it has some secondary meanings. For example, let's say one of my friends, Mike, he came to me and he gossiped with me. You know what? Our common friend, Tom, he is a peacock. So given this situation, should I interpret him as our common friend, Tom, he is a bird? Definitely not, right? So the correct or the accurate interpretation of this phrase is that Tom, probably he is an arrogant person and he would behave in a way which draws attention to him. So we can see that for some words, some phrases, they have two levels of meaning. One level of the meaning is pretty explicit. We call it denotative meaning. Pretty much like the basic meaning of peacock, right? It refers to this beautiful bird. And this meaning, this denotative meaning, we can find it in a dictionary. That is the primary and literal meaning given a word, the dictionary definition. And some words, it has some secondary meaning. We call it connotative meaning. And this meaning is pretty implicit and is closely associated with culture, with the situation. So you got to have some context information to have the accurate interpretation of this word. We call it a connotative meaning, such as the second meaning of peacock. Sometimes we use this word, peacock, to refer to someone who is pretty elegant, who is intentionally seeking for attention. So again, the denotative meaning is pretty primary, literal, and basic meaning, which we can find in a dictionary. Whereas the connotative meaning is pretty implicit and it conveys some emotions, some affections, and it's pretty suggestive. So that are the two types of meaning one word may have. Let's talk a little bit more about this connotative meaning. Okay, so here is a question for you guys. How many of you got a romantic partner? If you have a romantic partner, may I ask you, how do you address your romantic partner? Do you have a nickname for him or her? Well, sometimes I call my husband honey, sweetie, and baby. So I call him honey. Is it because literally he is a bottle of, sticky liquid? Or I call him baby. Is it because he is literally a baby who cannot take care of himself? Of course not, right? So in this situation, I'm using the connotative meaning of honey and baby to convey my affection to him, to my husband, to convey the relationship between us. And here is a kind of a graph. If our word only has this denotative meaning, it would look like this. Good night, honey, and good night, dear. Okay, just for fun. Okay, so hopefully you guys have a good understanding of this semantic code, the connotative meaning and the denotative meaning. And next, I'm going to talk about a model called semantic triangle model. And this model shows the relationship between words and the reality that the words represent. Let me give you a kind of a concrete example to illustrate this semantic triangle. Let's say when I say the word Cristiano Ronaldo. So this is the symbol, right? This is the word. I use this symbol and this word to represent a really well-known soccer player, number 7 in Juventus. So this is a real person or object in the reality. If he is standing beside me, we can shake hands with him, we can give him a big hug. We call it referent. Okay? So the real person or the real object in the reality, we call it referent. And the phrase or the symbol we use to represent this real object in the reality, we call it symbol. So when I mention this phrase, what do you have in your mind? That is the thought you associate with this symbol. So if you are a big fan of Ronaldo, the thoughts you may have about this symbol probably are, well, his finishing is pretty good in the world, and his headers are the best. He is also really good at free kicks. But when it comes to me, all the thoughts I associate with this phrase is his beautiful face, his sexy body, and his very good looking six-pack. So we can see that given one identical symbol, we may form different associations or have different thoughts in our mind. We call this thought reference. Okay, so let's quickly kind of go over these 3 components. The phrases or the word we use, we call it a symbol. And the real object or the person in the reality, we call it a referent. And the thoughts or the associations we make in our mind, we call them reference. Of course, for someone, when we mention this phrase, such as my grandma, when I talk about Cristiano, probably she will have nothing in her mind. She have 0 or no reference in her mind. So this is a diagram of this semantic triangle. We can see there are 3 components. Symbol is associated with thought, and this reference or the thought is also associated with referent. And you may notice that this line between the symbol and referent is dashed, but these 2 lines are solid. So what does it mean? It means that the word and the thing in the reality are not directly linked with each other. They must be mediated, or they have to go through people's thoughts or reference. So what does this have to do with interpersonal communication? Well, whenever we interact with another person, our thoughts are shaped by the words that are being used and how each of us interprets the words. So in other words, we have to be aware that the words may have different meanings to us and to other people. And our thoughts or reference could be very different for the same word. Now let me give you a quick example to illustrate this idea. Let's say when people ask me what I'm doing for a living, well, I would proudly say I'm teaching at universities. I'm kind of proud of it because I think I pass on knowledge, I interact with young and freshmen. While my communication partner would not necessarily think the same way. Well, they may first think about their personal experiences with teachers. It is very likely that they have unpleasant relationships with the teachers before. So when it comes to kind of teacher and teaching education, they may form some associations between teachers with someone being mean, being demanding, being burned out. So the idea here is whenever we talk about a word, people may have totally different interpretations regarding the meaning of this word, and this may cause some difficulties of understanding. I want you guys to be aware of that. And in next video, we're going to talk about the second type of code.